Pat Hill here, as always. We were originally, this hangar that we're in right here is a little over 80 years old now. It was built in 1944, of course, during World War II, and it was going to be used to train pilots. So we have a lot of military history going on here, and we have a lot of military heritage that comes through this building. Many people remember it from when it was new. Many people remember it from their own stays here, and it later on became an airport. And we actually get a lot of guests that remember it when it was the airport for scheduled skyways. Those of you who haven't been here before, the original terminal building is our third building down there that I'm sure y'all will see. And after a while, when XNA was built, a little ways away from here, this got turned into a private airport, and then this building and the original terminal became two separate museums. 2011, we merged together and became Arkansas Air and Military Museum. So just a bit of background on the place. We are thrilled to have you here, and y'all enjoy.
We started CAM in 2022. CAM stands for Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri Paranormal Investigators, so that's how we started. We've been investigating this location for a few years now. Get into a little more about us, but before that, I'm going to pass the mic so everybody can introduce themselves tonight.
Well, I'm Kevin Calder. I'm originally from Maine and moved to the Missouri area just about 2 years ago. I am one of the new members of the team, and I'm excited to be here as well as part of the team. We thank you all for coming out tonight. Hope to investigate with you here and then in the future. Thank you.
I'm Robert. I don't get this. I'm from LA, and I've been here. I've been with the team already for 2.5 years, going on 3 years. I'm just an investigator, just like everybody else here. And the biggest thing is we just want you guys to enjoy yourself, learn how we do it, and then you guys will go in and take it upon yourself how you guys want to investigate down the road. So thank you very much for coming.
We split out in groups, but since we have a smaller group tonight, we're probably going to just stay together. We'll see how that goes, and we'll go from location to location. Before we start that, we're going to do a tour of the location, just to tell you what we know about it, what we've experienced in some areas, just to give you an idea of what you might experience tonight. But we have equipment set out in various locations, so when we get to those locations, we can explain what that is, show you how to use it, and then we would like you to be interactive, so ask questions. For the new folks that haven't done it before, it's going to be a little weird just to talk into the air and just ask weird things, but the more you give, I think the more you'll get out of this. That's my opinion. So.
All right, so this is the front display area. In particular, we've had some activity, and other teams have reported activity over in this case. Pierce was a fighter pilot in World War II. His call sign was like Ridge Run or something like that. If you read about him, it's pretty impressive. But there has been some activity around this case with some other teams. And actually just a member of the public. So there was I think he was an FAA officer that was coming into the building. He was an ex-Navy officer, so he had a Navy jacket on. He came in, and there was an EVP recorded here. Excuse my language, of the Navy. So there's some animosity from Pierce, they think, to the Navy. So we have had some activity out here with just REM pods and other devices in this area. So it's pretty active.
All right, so this is what we call the little girl's room. She has a tragic history, but we got a lot of activity in here. This is where the connection is with the birthday. So the history on the little girl is, I guess, was her sister with the grandparents. They were, coming in for the landing and all that plane. I don't know exactly the backstory of how it happened, but the family was decapitated. And so she has, we call it the little girls because we always get that feeling of a little girl back here. We have toys back here that we get the interactions with. Typically, whenever we come here, we'll always leave toys for her as well, too. But the connection is that, Bertha is actually the grandmother part of that family because there are times as she's over here as well, too. With that, there's also Ray, who at times does travel over into this area, Ray's on the other half of, we'll have to go back around, but Ray's on the other half over there, but there's times when like we do get that traveling with Ray, and the little girl, but she mainly stays over here.
Yeah. We have a lot of this equipment, so cat walls, REM pods, motion activated items go off over here, so. Alright, so this is the area that we call Ray's area, and we'll explain who Ray is, and we'll see more about Ray over in the administrative buildings, but this is the room that, I forgot his name, John, is that his name?
Yes.
John was telling us about the trainees used to roll up parachutes. So there's a hole in the ceiling over there. They used to drop parachutes through, and you string them out and actually roll them up and pack them. So this was one of the training rooms in World War II. Ray he was in a war, and then he came back and he found the Skyways Airlines, which we'll get over and see in the other building. But he passed away. He never really left the airport. He never really left this building specifically. There's a lot of activity reported back here. We've had a lot of activity, but the staff at the museum actually feels weird things back here. Like the ladies feel the hair being tugged or flipped.
Ray does not like women.
Does not in a bad way.
Yeah.
There's nothing
He doesn't
negative.
react to us as much as he does the men.
Yeah. Brad, the officer, he gets a huge reaction from Ray every time he's back here. We think it has to do with just the military. He said we try to debunk all the equipment. Doesn't set off our equipment, so it's not that. But anytime Brad comes back here, it seems like Ray comes out to play. So we'll see if that happens tonight. People have said that they've seen it. We haven't. I've never experienced this, but some of the stories that we've heard from other teams, they seem like a tall figure, walking around back in this area. That means Ray's description was a tall guy in life, so it kind of makes sense.
All right, so who here has seen the movie American Made with Tom Cruise? Thanks, that's like right in my, appreciate that. So what that movie's about is a drug runner, working with the FBI, back and forth. This is the actual plane, so it's all based on true story. This is the actual plane there. So with this plane, there's been some activity around it. One of the particular things is this was a previous paranormal group that was here. They were here doing a session with Lacey at the time, and she said that she felt kind of cold, like a cold hand on her leg, and so they had the thermal cam. They shoot it at, and actually saw a handprint on her leg where she felt it at. There's been one morning when she walked out here to her office, with Laura at the office, only one in the building at the time, so it's early morning. She walked out and she looked over and she saw somebody in the cockpit, and the aviation sunglasses, the orange ones that the pilots like to wear. She said that she saw actually somebody in there sitting with those orange ones, so it's true to what it would be for a pilot. Looked away, and then she looked back and was no longer there. What else?
That's really it that I know about this one.
If you do happen to find any white powder in there, just this is the second hangar, so if you have a pair, that's the third and this is the hangar. But this is the Huey. It is a training helicopter. We've had pretty good activity here. It's never, as far as we know, based on everything we've been told, it's never been in any type of battle, war, or anything like that. It's really used for training. Doesn't mean that stuff can't still be attached to it. We had SLS. So SLS, it's the structured light sensor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's stick figure. So for those who don't know, if you look at a screen, you can see stick figures. It's SLS. That's what it is. We've had good SLS catching over here. First time Officer Pitts was here with his partner. They were over here. They were up here. First time they've ever done any type of investigation. They showed up one night, and they were getting some really good interactions, sometimes going off, stuff like that. But when we were here, when we were doing this, we caught stick figures kind of crawling across the floor. What else over in this one?
So we've caught a stick figure like actually hanging out of the helicopter. It looked like he had his arm up and arm out and just kind of in the door. So that was pretty neat. If you sit in this room, you'll hear a lot of just sounds, from this hangar. And it could be like the AC kicking on, but I mean, you'll start hearing other sounds, like lots of knocks.
And we'll build
Especially in
the
the
system
next-
tonight, so that way we shouldn't have that.
Yeah, and you'll hear like sounds coming from behind you, and we're going to go into that area next, but it's almost like it's trying to draw you from area to area. So,
Before we go there, the other thing in this area up here is the overhead up there. We won't go up there or anything, but we're going to talk about it. So a lot of people get the feeling of being watched. So he
was one of the old administrators, and that was his office at one
It was
time.
his office, and Dad was used to have a lot of activity here, noises, stuff like that, and he told them that when he died, he was going to come back here, and try and get a lot of these, entities, noises, and all that under control. And so he came back here, and they said since he passed away, actually things have calmed down some, but everybody gets the feeling of being watched from up there because that was his office. All right, so this is Adam's area. I like Adam's area. This is the first place I've ever had any type of personal experience. But before I go into that, we'll tell you about Adam. So Adam is a name. There's nobody that we've ever been able to tell that actually worked with the name Adam here. Adam came across years and years ago as an EVP, and the people who used to work here just started referring to him as Adam, and it stuck with him. But Adam he likes to make a lot of noise. He likes to bang stuff. There have been counts where people have been touring the museum and, they'll get back up, they'll ask them, how was your tour or anything like that. And that was great, but, back in the second hangar, you need to talk to your volunteer back there because he's throwing stuff, he's banging stuff, making a lot of noise. There are no volunteers back here. So that's what we'll hear a lot of is the banging and things like that. But the reason I like Adam's area is because I think it was the first time we were investigating here. It was January, so very cold out. They kept the heat on just enough to keep the pipes from freezing, so that tells you how cold it is out. And I had on my dad's Air Force jacket, and I had on the Zoom, so it's an enhanced recorder, so you can hear really good detailed things. And I was walking around back here. And we have this on camera, so if you go into our YouTube and all that, you'll see it. But I was walking back around here, and I'm walking pretty slow, not making any type of currents or anything like that. And I walk over here, and then about here, you hear me say, I just get off camera, because the camera's over there, you hear me say, like, whoa, cool. What I felt was an extremely cold breeze actually go through me. What we found out later when we were looking at things was when there was no air coming through here, we grabbed our thermals, there was no cracks, air flows, or anything like that. The vent there, that's closed off in the winter, so no air can come in through there. But what we saw was hanging on the metal shelf over here, there was a piece of tape. And right before I say that, you can see the tape wave. Mind you, I have already passed at that point, and you never see it move every time I walk by it, so that's why I like Adam's area.
We've had a lot of sounds back here, a lot of REM-pod activity, SLS activity. So we're over in that area, the other part of the workshop. We had an SLS pointed back here. And I was like, Adam, if you're back here, can you please show yourself? And he walked out to us, and we got a stick figure, like it looked like he was working at the bench, and there wasn't like a chair there wasn't like a pillar or anything. That was a massive person, so it was pretty interesting. And then it disappeared shortly after. I think that's about it back here.
So Adam, if you're here, make a lot of noise tonight.
Mm-hmm. Here's the watchtower. While we were in that classroom, as soon as she started talking, I saw a black mist in the top corner. It was like it shot out behind the shelf. What is black mist? Some believe it's an apparition, kind of manifest. Okay. Type thing. I thought I heard.
And so this is the office, or Hallie, who is the curators. I think her office was back here where it says staff only, and Brad was talking about the toilets and everything flushing. She hears that here all the time, so it's a common occurrence, and there's not really many people that come back here.
Typically, people, it's just the first hangar, and not so many people come back here. The other thing is when they first took over this building and they turned it into the museum part of it, they had no air conditioning in this building at the time. And there used to be flags on the display cases over here, and they would actually see the flags waving from motion. But again, there was no air conditioning or anything like that, so there's no account as to why it was happening.
Another thing to talk about over in the corner, if you walk this way, there's a case, it's, I think, McConnell. I can't remember if he's a commander, general, what his rank is, but when his items came here, they were initially stored in Macy, the director's office. And while everything was up there, she reported seeing like shadow figures walking around. She brought her dog into our office, which was like a blue heeler kind of dog, and it was like growling in the corner, and there was nothing there. Never anything bad, but once they moved all the stuff out, it was cataloged, they moved it here, all that settled down, so nothing happens in our office anymore. I think he was just really attached to his items since he was in the military for so long, so.
Brendan, you got any thoughts?
Very crazy. They were talking about getting growled at, and I think they're underplaying it because, you know.
Yeah. Don't want to scare everyone off.
Yeah, just getting growled at is not something to underestimate. Yeah, so that really piques my interest if there ain't something aggressive here. Maybe just be protective over his items, like don't want nobody near him or trying to disturb them in any way. I thought I heard a man in that one room right before I saw that mist. Like I heard it and then I turned and I saw like the mist.
Would you be interested in coming back one day, renting this out?
Definitely, we're definitely going to come back with the entire crew.
Yeah, I have a question. Are you guys coming down that ground?
What do you mean?
He said they don't think it's kind of mean or aggressive.
Okay, so then you have to think about this. I believe two things. A, they were trying to have you guys hear them for the first time. You know what I mean? It could be that, yes, it's demonic, yes, everyone's going to say different stuff on it.
Maybe he's protected over the items in the case.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're getting too close or he thinks, you're going to mess with him, he's going to not attack you.
Deter you.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So, yes. Could it be that? Yes. Hardest thing to tell you is the reason why we do all our stuff is we're out here trying to figure out the answer.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all theory and speculation at the end of the day, man.
That's why, I'm a sensitive.
Same. Actually,
I'm pretty bad.
in Adam's area, I saw a shadow.
Oh,
Walk through.
Oh, wow.
okay. So I've been here so many times where we're going right now. We have two sensitives that are on our team, and we came at different times. I'll let you guys go. We came at 2 different times, and second time I came, he wasn't here, and I went directly to the same rifle that was in that case. Jeez, they had it. It's gone. The only one with a white stripe on it. And now that's gone because they moved stuff around.
Yeah.
So, half the stuff in here, you're not going to know if it's from here or they're bringing it in from outside.
Yeah.
You know, the attachment.
But yeah, when we were back in the Adams area, right before she started talking,
Uh-huh.
I thought I heard a man, so I turned around. And I turned around and that shelf back there, right in the corner, looked like a mist, came right up over.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
And it was like black. It was like a dark.
Wow, that's cool.
So I'm gonna tell you the truth. This place in here, I could come in here today, to be honest. Before, I was like, I don't want to come in here.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah.
I've always been very
These rifles, they went 2 more down, so there was more all the way down like that. And rifle was right here, had a white stripe on it. See? That's beige, right? That one, it was like that, but it was faced this way. And both of us said, something's attached to that, and that was the night that I couldn't even stay in here. I was like, I gotta go. If you hear me say watermelon, I would put my back against the wall and walk out. I don't care what wall it is, it's because I feel like somebody's gonna reach out and grab me. So I was gonna put a meter up there, because that's, to be honest, a lot of the activities happen here. It happens over there too, but it's majority on this side.
I think that could be because there's so many just like items here.
And then before they used to have all kinds of pictures of all military people that were here military. They're gone now. So, you know, the hardest thing is maybe it was attached to the picture.
Yeah.
So,
You see this device I have in my hand? If you come touch it, it'll make noise.
yeah, right on top. I will put that one on top of that. Right there. Should be able to film.
That's just the way people let us know that you're here with us. Welcome, with respect. We mean no harm to you, we just simply want to know your story. Know why you're still here. So,
Is there anybody here with us? For yes.
That's crazy.
Can you take them apart for us? I really appreciate it if you could take these apart. Come on, take it apart. We got one. Come on. Good job. I need the other one to go now. Wrong way. The other way. Good job. What about the other one?
That's crazy.
You want to try it?
I'm not a big fan of Delving Road, to be honest.
It's too bright.
In fact, they like almost channel through you in order to move it.
Well, the biggest thing is you have to also remember these were used back in the old days when they used to look for water.
Yeah.